Without question, you just reminded me of 1998, where we're to play Denmark, and we're thinking of Brazil, and we went to a stadium in Toulouse.
Oh my goodness!
Didn't even remember that name. That they're in a stadium in Toulouse, and eventually lost. So let's just forget about an All-African final.
Okay. And just focus on what we have.
Win your semi-final. If you get an All-African final, fine. It's not going to be the first time. It happened in '93. Nigeria took on Ghana in the final, but that's not really what matters. Okay. What matters is Nigeria getting the win.
Okay. Bring the trophy home.
Because I think the motivation of the Marlins, part of the motivation of the Marlins is, of course, the golden eaglets. You know, they're like, oh man, these guys are doing this. We can also do this as well.
Okay, let's see if they can go past the Belgium first. That's still another thing because they still have
I'll pay attention. I'll pay attention to them more if we win and they win.
Okay.
Then it's going to be an African final. Then they become our opponents. But if they do not become our opponents, it really doesn't matter. Really
Sundays. Let's just wait for Sundays to fast. So let's just enjoy the one we have at the moment.
One game at a time,
definitely.
Okay. Let's come home and talk about Nigerian Professional Football League. Yesterday we talked to the chairman of the LMC, and he explained the reasons for the sanctions. But these are rescheduled matches to be played, the backlog to be cleared, so that we can play the remaining matches and don't have issues with boardroom. And so Sunshine, they'll be playing in Lagos.
Just the Balogun Stadium.
4 p.m. today. And Sunshine Stars has an array of Super Eagles players. So if you've heard about those players, Odulami, Prince Agre, Tunde Adeliji, you've heard about those players, and you want to know if they're really worth the hype, just go to Teslim Balogun Stadium. And also there's a bonus. Sunshine will still play a Yimba, so that's the added bonus for you. So Ifeanyi Uba also takes on El Kanami Warriors. So all of these matches are scheduled matches in the Nigerian Professional Football League. Some people are saying, well, let's get all of these things cleared
out of the way,
so that you don't have issues with boardroom. So that there was a particular season that was a very long time ago anyway, that they couldn't announce the winner. Because there are a lot of other issues. And I'm thinking like Taraba now, it looks like they are confirmed to be relegated. You need to start You need to start watching their games so that the integrity of football is not called to question. Because if you don't monitor, you start hearing scandalous scorelines because people might need those results. So we need to be careful. All of those things are being monitored. The teams on the top. Then again, some people are saying, look, but just keep the champagne, put ice on it, because anything can still happen.
Should Warri Wolves actually go there and pick up something?
Down their necks.
I don't know
they're
what
playing
happened.
Sunshine in the last game,
and
Warri Wolves have the superior.
golden points.
Someone sent me a tweet and told me to tell whoever is saying that Enyimba have already won that look. It can still happen, but it's just a mathematical. Once Enyimba are able to secure that draw, done.
For Sunshine Stars, they actually assist on the log right now. 53 points, tied with Heartland. And so this win will definitely be a bonus for them. But coming to Lagos to play, because the crowd definitely will not be there, because the fans definitely, they've not been allowed to travel to come watch the games and all that. So that support will obviously not be there. So if Lagos fans can actually stand behind them and support them in their new home, they definitely...
For Lagos fans, I also think there's an added incentive. League football is back in Lagos, MFM and Ikorodu. So now I think these matches that Sunshine will play in Lagos affords them the opportunity to have the feel. I don't know if any of those teams will use Teslim, which would be good if any of those teams.
I mean MFM?
MFM plays at Agege Stadium. But I think they need a bigger venue, bigger arena and all that. But I don't know if going to the Highland will help them. But we'll see. But it's good, interesting times.
Definitely. I just can't wait for that game.
Yeah, interesting times
indeed. From Nigerian Professional Football League now, we'll talk about, of course, the Super Falcons. For them were the draws for the African Women's Championship next year. Of course, that has been done, because the Super Falcons will be facing the winner between Senegal and Guinea. That will be in April. But surprisingly, they still don't have a coach. But the Nigerian Football Federation said during the All-Africa Games that they're going to get the coach in 2 weeks, and we're still waiting for that. But the games are going to be in April. That's the qualifiers for the African Women's Championship. We know usually we get to qualify. Usually most times we get to win it. 7 times we've won it. But
we we will be in the second round of the qualifiers. That's the most important thing. We've got to buy. So we're going to be fighting for the 7. We're going to be part of the teams fighting for the 7 available slots. Okay. Cameroon has one by virtue of being host, and of course Nigeria and the others.
Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, South Africa, Equatorial Guinea.
Like Tony said last night, it really shouldn't be a problem for Nigeria to qualify.
Women's football is growing in Africa.
Yes, but you consider that even Cameroon and some of the powers in female football are having, maybe apart from South Africa, having issues. They're having their own issues. Cameroon, Equatorial Guinea.
They're having their own issues. Then you're having a country like Zimbabwe qualifying for real. So it tells you that something happening.
Gradually becoming consistent.
So while some others are busy, taking a look at this, others are pushing.
Looking at past glory. I mean, we've done this before. We can always do it whenever we get.
I agree with you. I think the NFF needs to do something quickly about whoever is managing that team. I don't know if Danjuma is still in the saddle. Let us know. Let us know. So if there's any blame, let's know who's going to lie on his doorstep.
Okay.
Right, yeah,
that's the Super 6 Day 2 games. Bayelsa Queens and of course Conference Queens. It was a whitewash from the Bayelsans, beating them by 4-1. Rivers Rangers, of course, the first game played earlier. It was 1-0 against Sunshine Queens. For Rivers Rangers, they are already in the final of the Super 6, so they have to wait for the winners in Group B. And for today's fixture, you'll be having Sunshine Queens and Nasarawa Amazons, and of course Confluence Queens and Delta Queens. Now for them, they're going to be waiting for Bayelsa Queens or Delta Queens or Confluence Queens. Anyone that's going to top that particular group, that's the team they will be playing in the finals on Thursday. So for Edin Okon, he just wants to successfully defend it because he feels, well, it's more like their birthright right now. And after that, he will obviously want to do so much more to ensure that other teams doesn't even get close to him at all.
All right, should be an interesting one for us to see definitely what's happening in the Super 6 as it concerns women football in Nigeria. It's still sports this morning. Let's catch our breath for a moment or two, and then we'll come back for more on the show. But let's serve you with this one for Larry, the natural Akundayo, taking on Joseph, the horror, the horror Lamptey, as it's called. We'll serve you that, and we'll continue with the show after this.
Well, at the end of the day, the Nigerian flag raised up.
Raised up, side by side with the British flag.
So Larry Akundayo, the natural, doing the job on Joseph Lamptey in that one. The highlights from the match that took place on Friday, right there in London. And of course, he is now the African Boxing Union champion. All right, we move on to the next thing on the show. Is the paper review. And of course, it's a pleasure to have Chijoke Eziali. He joins us for the paper review. Let me welcome you to the show.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here.
Okay.
There goes the handshake. I thought we were Oh, okay.